What's going on? This is Marcus, and today we're watching round 7 of the Birmingham Regional Championships, where I played against Jonathan Marston. And yeah, if you haven't already, definitely also check out my video where I talk about my run here at Birmingham. But yeah, well, this is me on screen. And yeah, let's have a look at how I do against Jono. Jonathan Marston, player from the UK that I've known for quite a while, also has been around for quite a while. Definitely a very strong player, but notoriously known for yeah, maybe not winning as often on stream. At least this is what we were talking about here before in the game as we were walking up and getting set up. At this point of the tournament, we're both undefeated at 6-0, so we've already secured phase 2. So we're already looking like we're having a good tournament, feeling good about myself there as well. Jonathan, is a regional champion in 2019. Harrogate, as I said, has been around for a little bit, and then also has a couple more top 8 and finalists. Yeah, especially in the 2019-2020 season, definitely did really well there. Of course, my results are some of them are from a little bit longer ago, but then of course I also won a regional in 2023. Yeah, I was feeling pretty good about my team and my play so far. Up until this point, I think I won every single game as well, so I was 12-0 in games. And yeah, of course, playing on stream is always nice. And if you get to do it against a player of Jonathan's caliber, then it's even better. I think I'll call him Jono, because that's just what I'm more used to. Okay, so we have Jono's team there, and yeah, we see it is a Psy Spam team. The core of Indeedee, Iron Crown, Tornadus, and also Urshifu, I would say pretty standard. Ogre Pawn also shows up very, very often on these type of compositions with a Follow Me. And then Fluttermane with Choice Specs is not the most popular pick, I would say, on the slot. I think the Regidrago is probably still the most common one. Some players also run Landorus in that slot, but yeah, usually you need some sort of a special attacker there that also maybe scares away some Raging Bolt, as Calm Mind Raging Bolt can be difficult to deal with this team if you cannot force the Terra. Yeah. Pretty standard team, but always you need to be aware. I think some things there, I think the taunt on the Focus Sash Urshifu is worth mentioning there, is we are ready to go into team preview. This is usually where team preview starts, and I'll be moving my cam back over here. And yeah, this is my team. This is the team that also Justin Karras used to get top 16 at the Toronto Regional Championships. Yeah. It has some cool techs, like the Life Orb Raging Bolt, the Pain Split Fluttermane. I also kind of went over this team and how I used it in some of the other matchups in my other videos, so definitely check that out. But maybe after you're done watching this, as yeah, it's going to be exciting how this fares into Psy Spam. Of course, Rillaboom is there to give me terrain control in this matchup, but I'm not using U-Turn, so it's going to be more about switching it in at the right time, and I won't be able to get it off the field as easily. And then also the Raging Bolt on my team is, as I said, is the Life Orb variant, and that is going to play a crucial role in that set as well. With a Calm Mind set, it can be very, very slow kind of setup game where you try to get grassy terrain up, then you try to Calm Mind, maybe get like some Fake Out in, some parting shots. But with the Life Orb, the dynamic is definitely quite a bit different. I didn't watch the games yet after I played them like a little over a week ago at this point, so well, I do remember kind of what happened, but still might be surprised by some of my decisions here and there. And what is important to note as well is we will be seeing this battle from Jonathan's perspective. Of course, I played it from my own perspective, so let's see how I deal with that. But I did have a little bit of a plan going into Psy Spam in general, but this Choice Specs Fluttermane actually made things a little bit more difficult, and we'll see why here in this very first turn of the battle already, as our leads come out, and it is Incineroar and Raging Bolt, which isn't too uncommon, I would say, against Psy Spam. But as I said, we actually don't have the Calm mindset, but instead it is the Life Orb. And Yeah, already it is, I would say, it's not the end of the world, but it's not too great of a lead matchup for me, because against Indeedee and Fluttermane, yeah, he can go for Helping Hand and Dazzling Gleam, for example, which threatens both Raging Bolt and Incineroar. So I have to make a little bit of a play here already. It's game 1, it's turn 1, and I feel like he's probably not going to kind of overcommit with like a, I don't know, Helping Hand, Terra Fairy, Moonblast into my Incineroar. And so I feel kind of confident that I can take one hit with Incineroar here. Of course, yeah, I could also maybe Protect and switch into Rillaboom, or I could maybe switch into Ogerpon, maybe to take some fairy moves better if I have that. So to try and stay a little bit ambiguous, I think I go for a Protect and Parting Shot here. As he goes for the Helping Hand, boosts up Fluttermane's damage even further, but it is the Dazzling Gleam, so yeah, Incineroar is safe here, of course. Yeah, you don't really want to give Raging Bolt a free turn. I also could have gone for a Terra here, and with Terra Electric, yeah, I definitely would have taken the Dazzling Gleam, but you want to get some chip in. But just like this, I get off the Parting Shot, and this now is, I would say, is a pretty good spot for me to be in, because yeah, the Fluttermane now is at reduced special attack, and I get to switch something in. Now, yeah, Rillaboom can come in, override the terrain, but there is also another thing that I can do, and I think this is what I'm thinking about at this moment. Because, yeah, if I bring in the Ogerpon here, I can go for Terra Fire, Ivy Cudgel into Indeedee, potentially knock it out in one hit, even if it goes for like a Follow Me, and then I can use Raging Bolt to go for a big hit into the Fluttermane. And this is, yeah, what I decided to do here. Rillaboom also could come in here. I'm not under a lot of pressure by the Fluttermane, but if I go into Rillaboom, I will get the terrain, and then it's like, I mean, he could then swap out Indeedee probably, or he could go for a Follow Me, and then it's a little bit... yeah, I think it's also playable, but I decided to go for Ogerpon, and now I don't know what he has in the back. Seeing Indeedee, I'm usually thinking that maybe there's an Iron Crown waiting in the back as well. And then I think this turn I go for the plan, I go for the Terra Ivy Cudgel, target down Indeedee, and then also I need to go for an attack with Raging Bolt. The Fluttermane is at -1, so it could swap out. And I was thinking about also, I could also swap out Raging Bolt into Rillaboom, probably. And so I was thinking that maybe he switches the Fluttermane out here, and that's why I stay in with the Raging Bolt. But he kind of gets it correct. Goes for Dazzling Gleam, Helping Hand Gleam definitely would have hurt even more. But I think I'm okay with this trade, as now I get to go for the Terra Fire +1 Ivy Cudgel. And this is a knockout on Indeedee. Critical hit, didn't matter. And now I get another move off with the Raging Bolt. It has to be Thunderbolt, only move that can hit Fluttermane at this point. That does a decent chunk, but looking back at this, with how much damage I took from Dazzling Gleam, and he didn't even go for Helping Hand. Helping Hand Dazzling Gleam also definitely would have been an option for him. Maybe it would have been smarter to go into Rillaboom either on the Parting Shot or as a hard switch that turn just now, just to preserve a little bit more health. With this, Fluttermane took a decent chunk of damage. Indeedee went down, and now I will have terrain control for the rest of the battle, which is definitely helpful. But now we know what he has in the back. Again, I didn't know this, of course, at this point. But it's actually not an Iron Crown, but it's Urshifu and Ogerpon. And Urshifu switching in, it's not optimal for me, because I just committed my Terra. I'm taking a sip of water there to kind of digest this news of Ogerpon, of Urshifu being in the back. But now I think I have a couple of options. I could switch into Rillaboom and go for a priority move into Fluttermane to knock it out. Of course, Fluttermane it's at -1. It's kind of threatened off the board here. Or I could also go after Urshifu. And I think this turn, I think I switched Ogerpon into Rillaboom and went for Thunderclap into Urshifu, just because I thought that, okay, Urshifu has the Focus Sash. It's probably going after my Ogerpon. And so with this, I override the terrain, which I will do at some point, but it's also relatively safe to switch in. And with the Thunderclap, I can bring Urshifu down to its Sash. I thought maybe Fluttermane switches out here to avoid the KO by either switch Grassy Glide or switch Thunderclap, but no, Fluttermane just stays in once again. It's still at -1, but that's enough to knock out Raging Bolt, which kind of did its job, I would say. Got off a big Thunderbolt into Fluttermane turn 1, and now the Thunderclap into Urshifu. Rillaboom, takes the Surging Strikes pretty well, but still, that's quite a lot of damage, and I'm down to my last 3. We have terrain control, but I still need to, make it work. And I think here it's definitely correct to switch an Ogerpon, which I think I did. And then, we have double Grassy Glide. There's no redirection on the board. And there's also no way for him to do anything about the double Grassy Glide. And so I think, his play is probably to protect Urshifu, but then now I can go for, depending on what I think how the damage roll is, if Grassy Glide KOs this Fluttermane, maybe I can go for Grassy Glide into Fluttermane and Ivy Cudgel into Fluttermane as well, to cover a potential Ogerpon switch. I think just double Glide is probably also fine. I think here Fluttermane will probably sack itself, since, against this Rillaboom and Ogerpon under grassy terrain, it's probably not going to do so much. I actually went for the Fake Out. I remember now. I think I went for Fake Out and Ivy Cudgel to cover an Ogerpon switch in. So the Fluttermane gets another Dazzling Gleam, and here I think is where the match starts to go a little bit wrong, because Fluttermane got the critical hit on Rillaboom, and it really didn't matter as Fluttermane goes down now, but you can see it there on my face cam as well. Like now I'm thinking a little bit, because I'm like, okay, well we got the Fluttermane out of the picture. Urshifu is kind of low, but what's the last? At this point I'm thinking, okay, the worst thing would be Ogerpon, because then he can follow me away my Grassy Glides. And this is what I tried to cover here as well, like an Ogerpon switch in with my own Ivy Cudgel. But I'm like, okay, well, we just got crit on the Rillaboom, and Incineroar is actually at pretty low health. Rillaboom's at low health. Now, if Ogerpon comes in and goes for like a follow me, Surging Strike is gonna KO my Ogerpon, because I Terror to Fire. And so I remember thinking like, oh, well, I thought I had it won. But because of the critical hit, I'm not seeing the path really. But I realized like I locked in my move, and then like right after I locked it in, I realized what I should have done. Maybe if you haven't seen this already, maybe you at home can pause for a second and think about what's the correct move here for myself with Ogerpon and Rillaboom on the field against Urshifu and Ogerpon. Because I think there is a move that, well, it would give it away. Okay, you pause now, and then I'll tell you what I think the correct move is. I didn't watch it back since then, but maybe we can analyze together. So anyway, I give you 2 chances now to pause, so now I'm gonna reveal. So I think there's a move that will win probably 95% of the time. I think the correct move here is to go for Ivy Cudgel into Urshifu and High Horsepower into Ogerpon. Thinking about this, I think the issue, and I guess I didn't know at the time that his Ogerpon is max speed. So in fact, my play that I just mentioned maybe loses against Aqua Jet and Ivy Cudgel into Ogerpon if that's enough to KO, and then we just go for a High Horsepower. But anyway, I think the situation is like this. So we have pressure to KO Urshifu with the Grassy Glide, and he can go for for Follow Me. And if we go for, let's say, Grassy Glide and Ivy Cudgel, it would be fine, because Ivy Cudgel, I'm at +1. I'll do a ton of damage to Ogerpon, maybe just straight up knock it out, and then whatever move Rillaboom will also do on Ogerpon will be enough for the knockout. The problem, though, is that he hasn't Terra'd yet. And so his play is to go for Surging Strikes into my Ogerpon and go for Terra, Fire, Follow Me, soak up my Ivy Cudgel, and also a potential Grassy Glide. And yeah, I needed to go for high horsepower here to cover that play, I think. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you disagree with this, by the way. I didn't think too much about it, but in the moment, like right after I logged in, and I was like, maybe I don't know if I gave a reaction. I'm like very locked in when I play, but like I made this move, and like I'm switching in Incineroar, and I'm like, okay, there's gonna be like some Intimidate. I'm preserving Fake Out, but I thought of the Terra, Fire, Follow Me, but I didn't think of the punish, which was to go for higher horsepower. So yeah, this is the move that I was expecting, but I couldn't find the correct answer in time. Yeah, maybe if he goes for Aqua Jet and wins the speed tie and goes for Ivy Cudgel, maybe then he actually wins even against the high horsepower play. But yeah, Follow Me comes out, but the play that I made is a non-play because I think it always loses. Yeah, I think maybe now is the time to get a critical hit with Ivy Cudgel. But yeah, it's not enough, and now Surging Strikes comes out, gets the clean KO, and now we end up in this positioning where all of a sudden, yeah, Urshifu, even though it was at 1 HP, now it really covered a little bit from the grassy terrain, but now it's gonna be, yeah, 2 faster Pokemon for Jono against my Incineroar Rillaboom. This is not the positioning you want to be in, and yeah, really should have gone for the high horsepower there. But kind of, yeah, tossed the game. That I thought it was going like okay before. Like we got the turn 1 right with a parting shot. Then we repositioned nicely. We got the 1-shot with Ogerpon into Indeedee. But then, yeah, in the end, I think I remember being like a little bit kind of out of it because of the critical hit, but there was no need to be like tilted because it didn't really matter too much. Like, yeah, Rillaboom, like in this spot, for example, okay, what? Like Rillaboom has like 30% more, like it doesn't matter. So yeah, Jono just goes for the double protect as, yeah, I have Fake Out active, but it's not gonna happen. I mean, I knew at this point that this is over. I messed up, and yeah, just one wrong move. That can be all that is needed for a team as dangerous as Jono's to yeah, come back in a position like this. And I think it was a comeback because I think I was definitely had the advantage, but now, yeah, there's just gonna be Surging Strikes, Ivy Cudgel. Yeah, maybe, yeah, we'll skip a bit ahead. Okay, it's actually Follow Me, sure, because of the Grassy Glide threat. Grassy Glide comes out, doesn't even KO, but it didn't matter because Grassy Terrain was running out, and Surging Strikes KOs Incineroar, and with that, game 1 is over, and we can go into game 2. I think I forfeit here, as, yeah, there's nothing I can do at this point. And yeah, we're going into game 2. Yeah, good game. We acknowledge. I think, yeah, for him also it was clear that this is a game that maybe I had the advantage in, but yeah, he found a way to come back. And so, yeah, now back against the wall. Now the question, of course, is, are you adapting, or are we sticking with the same thing? And yeah, this is what I was thinking about in this moment, because I noticed, well, even with the leads, I noticed that, okay, well, Indeedee and Fluttermane, that would be not very good against my Ogerpon lead. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe should I go for an Ogerpon lead, or should I go with the same kind of plan with Raging Bolt once more, where now it's like, okay, maybe if I do the same Raging Bolt Incineroar lead, for example, maybe now he's a little bit more committal, and now he has seen the bulk on my Incineroar. Yeah, maybe he's more committal with like a Helping Hand Moonblast, and I decided to go with the same, but he decides to switch things up with Indeedee and Urshifu, and yeah, already I'm feeling pretty happy with this, because this is what I was kind of hoping for. And also, yeah, now it also means that, well, if I can win this game, we'll have the mind game again for next turn, and maybe now he thinks that I'm always going for this lead. I had a couple of other options as well in this matchup, but because I've shown it twice, if I can win this match with a favored lead, then maybe I can also get a favored lead in the third game, because he will then maybe go back to the Indeedee Flutter Mane from game 1. Of course, yeah, you never really know. It's like some mind games there at this level, but this is kind of what I was thinking about at this point. Urshifu and Indeedee, perfectly fine for me. I can go for Thunderbolt. Raging Bolt is pretty much uncontested, and Incineroar can just swap out into Rillaboom, for example. So yeah, I'm feeling good about my position. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'm feeling good about my position, and I think I go for the switch into Rillaboom and a Thunderbolt. Seems like the best play to me, but let's see. Maybe I also... No, did I? No, there's no need to kind of make a read here. Yeah, Jono also probably expects the switch into Rillaboom and preserves Indeedee for later, so he can get Psychic Terrain up later in the game. And I guess it's a little bit of a question, okay, where is the Thunderbolt aimed? But I think there's a case there for Urshifu to go for Detect here, or Protect in this case, and this is also what we're seeing. And because of that, I think I aimed at the Indeedee, and we get a little bit of chip on Ogerpon. Now, we already saw in the previous game how much damage my Avikachel did, so I'm at this point assuming that this is a max speed, max attack Ogerpon or something like this. Just because, yeah, it takes so much damage from these hits. And yeah, I think based on the HP number, which of course I didn't know at the time, but we can also kind of assume that. So now I have 2 slower Pokemon, and I have Fake Out active, but Indeedee could switch in. But the 2 Pokemon that he has on the field, neither of them can really damage Raging Bolt. And so I feel like pretty confident to go for an attack with Raging Bolt again. And Urshifu just protected. So I think the obvious play for him would be to switch into Indeedee and attack with Urshifu. But I guess against that, there could also be like a double target into Urshifu. Like we could go for like Thunderbolt and Woodhammer, for example, or something like that, which would cover kind of everything. So, of course, Follow Me also, I guess, was a threat. But because we have Fake Out active, I think the, obvious play would be go for maybe Fake Out and attack. But I think I, like, make a read here. Swap out Rillaboom, because I'm assuming that he's switching in Indeedee, maybe. So we can do something about that. And we're also getting another round of Intimidate on Urshifu. And Urshifu's best attack is probably Close Combat in that spot. But Jono makes a great play, goes for Surging Strikes there. And yeah, that of course will leave Incineroar very hurt, even with the Citrus Berry. Yeah, I think the switch wasn't that obvious, I guess, because yeah, Woodhammer definitely also would have been a play, but I get off the Thunderbolt, and I think I remember just thinking at the time that I was okay with this trade. Like, he had to make a hard read, but I still got the Urshifu down to Sash. But now the position is better for him because he also switched in Flutter Mane. Like, if this was, I don't know, if this was Indeedee switching in, I would be super fine with the trade. But because Flutter Mane switched in, now it's a little bit awkward. Because he can go for, yeah, powerful Fairy move. I can't really remove Flutter Mane this turn. So if he goes for, say, Protect and Dazzling Gleam or Terra Dazzling Gleam, yeah, all I can do is maybe Protect. But yeah, not too great for me. I guess one question is, does he need to Terra? With Terra, of course, Flutter Mane would do a lot more damage. But yeah, he decides to go for something differently, and I think I make a bit of a read here. I go for the Terra, like defensively though, to yeah, not go down to a Fairy type move. But I go for the Fake Out right away into the Urshifu. Didn't fall kind of for the Indeedee trap. Because I guess I was thinking, well, if Flutter Mane switches into Indeedee, then Flutter Mane isn't attacking, and I mean, how bad can that be, right? Flutter Mane was in such a fantastic position. So yeah, it seemed like he probably wanted to go for an attack. And then with the Terra, my Raging Bolt takes the Moonblast. He didn't Terra, crucially. Maybe that would have KO'd actually. but I get now a Terra Thunderbolt on the Flutter Mane. It does live, but yeah, now it's in range for a Grassy Glide again, which will be helpful later on. And Urshifu is already removed, so even though, yeah, we're taking a lot of damage, I think this trade was super fine for me, yet it was quite risky, that's for sure. So now the problem for him is that, I guess, yeah, Ogerpon has to come in. If you bring in Indeedee, it's probably just Protect, Switch, and Rillaboom. Yeah, I guess you could bring in both, because the Flutter Mane is just very powerful with Moonblast, but I think in this position you would prefer to be locked into Dazzling Gleam, maybe. Might make it a little bit easier to deal damage, but it's still not over at this point for sure, because yeah, with double redirection and a Choice Specs Flutter Mane, my team kind of struggles a little bit into that, because my Raging Bolt isn't so bulky. But yeah, I have Ogerpon as the 4th, so I know at this point I need to play down to like get Ogerpon in position. I already Terra'd the Raging Bolt, so that's fine, but as long as I can get Ogerpon in position, I should be fine and I should be able to win this game. But then this turn, now he has Follow Me as an option, Follow Me and Moonblast into one target, but the issue is, I guess, it only KOs one of the two. And so he's thinking about this, and this Follow Me is a threat against the Thunderclap, and there's also the chance of Indeedee switching in, but you cannot really get the double knockout unless you attack with both, right? So I think that's what Jono is doing, but I just went for the Thunderclap, and yeah, I really liked seeing his reaction there, because he also reacted quite heavily before when I went for the Fake Out on Urshifu, when there was a threat of Indeedee switching in. But once again, I just go for the priority move and get the knockout on Flutter Mane. Ivy Cudgel gets the KO on Raging Bolt. So yeah, he was spreading damage, and I'm thinking like, okay, at this point I'm like, okay, what are we doing for game 3? And then I remember I'm telling myself, okay, wait, we haven't won yet. Like I still need to convert at this point. Like sure, like the positioning is great. We get off Parting Shot on Ogerpon, then we also get a come back in again with Incineroar for Intimidate. We have won the kind of the terrain battle, because now I can bring in my Ogerpon and then bring in Incineroar. And we should be fine, but you should never think about game 3 while you're still in game 2. I think that's at least how I like to handle it. Maybe there's some players out there who are, I don't know, much cleaner than me with their with kind of winning a game, but I've also lost games before to like the timer of your time when I'm like thinking too much. So anyway, I just want to get this game done, get on the scoreboard, and then we can talk about game 3. But yeah, subconsciously maybe I'm thinking a little bit about what I want to do for game 3 already. But yeah, we still need to convert. I mean, Ogerpon still can go for Terra, but it needs to crit, and I guess if it's Follow Me, Terra, Cudgel, crit. Was there a way back? Maybe not. Yeah, maybe if Cudgel like crits both Incineroar and then also my Ogerpon. But yeah, that's not the most likely. So I think he goes for Helping Hand here, which I thought was a mistake maybe, because you need the crit anyway, and I think with a crit it KOs from this range. But if you go for, I guess if you go for Follow Me, I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, maybe it's not a mistake. But yeah, Terra comes out, Helping Hand comes out, and this is then, I think, going after the Incin. But I win. What we learned later would be a speed tie. Ivy Cudgel comes out. Yeah, Incineroar doesn't go down. There wasn't a crit, so I think you needed to go for the crit anyway, and then maybe it's better to go for Follow Me. That's what I was thinking, but yeah, I don't know. It's like small, it's like a nuance, I guess. It was probably over either way. Or maybe you need to go after my Ogerpon and hope that you crit there. But anyway, yeah, we managed to win. Jonah's gonna forfeit here, and then we are going into game 3. So, well, what did we learn? Game 1, I think we had a decent spot. We came out in a decent spot with the Incin and Bolt, and now I'm like going in for a little think here, because I'm thinking about, yeah, do I want to go for the adjustment now, or do I want to go for the Incin and Bolt lead again? I'm assuming that he's going for a Flutter Mane lead again after, yeah, game 1, he won with a Flutter Mane. Game 2, he did something else. He didn't win. And also what I showed in games 1 and 2 kind of tells him that, okay, well, maybe Flutter Mane is the way to go. And I think this is where I decide to go for the adjustment and bring Ogerpon in the 3rd game. And I actually don't remember exactly what happened in the 3rd game. No, I remember now. Okay, yeah, so Incineroar and Ogerpon against his Flutter Mane lead. I don't know if we saw, did we see a reaction from his side? Okay, no, they didn't have the face cam yet. Because also after the game, we were talking about this. He was saying, yeah, he went for his game 2 lead with the Urshifu because he was thinking about an Ogerpon lead from my side. So, yeah, I got the lead kind of prediction right. And yeah, now we have a solid position here against Flutter Mane and Indeedee. Now the kind of helping hand and go after the instant play isn't really that great because Ogerpon can go after Flutter Mane. And also Incineroar, of course, could switch out. Now, I wasn't sure about the damage rules because I couldn't figure out for sure how offensive the Flutter Mane is in the first game. But I was like, okay, we're going for it right away. I got the lead right. I planned to do this, and I also could go for the spiky shoot and parting shot play. So I go for the Terra Fire right away and go after this Flutter Mane. But yeah, Helping Hand comes out, and I'm like, okay, please be Helping Hand Moonblast into Incin. But no, it's the Shadow Ball into Ogerpon, and I'm like, okay, is it gonna KO? But then I barely make it through the turn. No reaction from myself once more. That's just, yeah, if you ever play against me, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I just, yeah, I don't know. I'm locked in. Okay, so we get the KO, and we also get the parting shot off, which, yeah, doesn't really matter against the Indeedee, but now we can go into Rillaboom, we can get the terrain up, and yeah, I think it's good position. I don't think it's like won by any means, because we invested Terra. Ogerpon is one of my best answers against his Ogerpon, which is probably in the back. He still has Terra available, and I'm at such low HP because of the Shadow Ball. So even though it looks like quite bad for him, I would say, I'm not sure how bad it's actually. However, now I have the kind of the follow-up as well. So yeah, maybe it actually is bad because I can go for Fake Out into Ogerpon and Ivy Cudgel into Indeedee this turn, so I will get some extra damage from my positional advantage. Yeah, by going for the pivot and having Fake Out available as well. So I could have maybe called this and gone for like a Ivy Cudgel. By the way, now we see that Ogerpon flinched. I don't know if he went for, I didn't see if he went for Follow Me, but yeah, we definitely get in a big Ivy Cudgel, even on the resist, on the Urshifu switch in. And now I'm feeling good about the positioning. We got a lot of damage on Urshifu. Ogerpon is still around, but once more, there's Aqua Jet. Sorry, there's actually no Aqua Jet because this Urshifu has Taunt. But I don't remember if it was this game or the previous game. But at some point, I was definitely thinking about Aqua Jet when it wasn't actually on the team sheet and it wasn't actually a threat. So maybe I don't remember if it was this game. Yeah, if I make like a weird play, maybe I was scared of Aqua Jet, but there was no Aqua Jet. This was Taunt Urshifu. I swap. Did I double swap? Okay, let's see. I'm bringing in Incineroar. Makes sense for some Intimidate on the Ogre Pawn. Okay, Protect from Urshifu. Yeah, no, I didn't play around this. Oh yeah, but now finally he wins the speed tie. I think, yeah, I went for the Ivy Cudgel on his Ogre Pawn. Had I won the speed tie, I think I definitely win the game because I still have full Rillaboom. And I think this was the first speed tie that he was winning, even considering like grassy terrain recover. So I was like pretty sure based on the damage that I did that he would be max speed. But I think I was also thinking a bit like, okay, maybe he's like not max speed, but maybe he's just like, I don't know, faster than Garchomp or something, like just a couple points slower. But no, he's max speed. And he goes for this Ivy Cudgel, gets the KO, and now I get to bring in Raging Bolt. I'm still feeling okay because I have a full Raging Bolt against 2 Pokemon that cannot hit it for a lot of damage. But yeah, with Indeedee still in the back and with Follow Me action, yeah, it's not so easy, I guess. Also, yeah, Urshifu is still around, can go for the Terra Stellar at some point. It is at -1, so close combat is not going to do all too much. But yeah, it's much more ambiguous than I would like. And I don't have great switch-ins here because he could also, yeah, hard call my move, and he could go, if I switch Incineroar into Rillaboom, he could go for Ivy Cudgel, stuff like that. So he switches into Indeedee, which makes a lot of sense, I think. And yeah, makes a great play here, I think. Goes for the Terra Stellar and Surging Strikes into Incin. And with the Citrus Berry and with the particular split I was running, I think this is a roll to KO. Yeah, let's see. Of course, maybe you've watched the stream and you know what's happening. But yeah, Fake Out is being blocked. I once again went for the Fake Out in the terrain. Or, well, in the Fake Out, but with the threat of the terrain. I mean, it didn't really matter because Incineroar has to take this Terra Stellar Surging Strikes, and even with the Citrus Berry, yeah, it's like it's a very tiny roll, but yeah, he's like really hoping for it, and he gets it. So it's a little bit more relief there. I'm not feeling too good about this, obviously, but we still have Raging Bolt moving, and I go for Thunderbolt, which knocks out Urshifu. So that's great, because now we're in a 2v2 situation. I have Rillaboom and Raging Bolt. We have the terrain. We take a little bit of Life Orb recoil, but he's down to only the Ogre Pawn. And yeah, in this spot, it's like, okay, he cannot, how does he get past Raging Bolt, right? I have Fake Out pressure, so I can go for Fake Out into Indeedee. Indeedee cannot protect. And yeah, looking back at this, yeah, I still don't know like what's the like best way to play, I guess. But we have Fake Out. We have Fake Out into Indeedee. And we can go for a Draco into Ogre Pawn, or we could go for a Thunderbolt into Indeedee. Expecting the Spiky Shield, which I guess is, yeah, well, obvious, but of course you can also expect the prediction. So I go for Fake Out into Ogre Pawn, actually, to, yeah, ensure that it cannot move, take a little bit of recoil, and then we're going for the Thunderbolt into Indeedee, so just like the safe play, I guess. We get a critical hit, which definitely helps because it puts it into KO range of Grassy Glide, but Psychic comes out and does a decent chunk, and with the Life Orb recoil, the Psychic, even after some grassy terrain recovery, we're in a little bit of an awkward spot here, because maybe my Raging Bolt now is in KO range for Helping Hand and attack from this Ogre Pawn. This was a Woodhammer Ogre Pawn. We're still in grassy terrain, so Helping Hand Woodhammer might KO this Raging Bolt. However, I have a very kind of a play that is kind of like screaming at me in this spot, which is to protect Raging Bolt and go for Grassy Glide into Indeedee. This play was just opened because we got the critical hit with Thunderbolt, and now it's in Grassy Glide KO range. And there's not a lot of counterplay, truthfully, because if I go for Protect Grassy Glide and he goes for, I don't know, like the worst punish, maybe you might think the worst punish might be to go for Ivy Cudgel into Rillaboom, ignoring Raging Bolt. So Indeedee goes down to the Grassy Glide, then Ivy Cudgel knocks out Rillaboom. But then it's a 1v1 between Raging Bolt and Ogerpon. And with Life Orb, Draco Meteor, since we get confirmation that it has no bulk, Draco Meteor will KO it. So as long as we hit the Draco Meteor, we should be fine. And also from this range, Ivy Cudgel crit might not actually KO. So yeah, this seems like a very safe thing to do. And I'm thinking about this, but then I'm like, okay, what can he do to stop me from doing this? And I come up with this kind of crazy idea for him, which would be to go for Follow Me with Ogerpon and just like a Psychic with Indeedee. And then if I go for this Protect and Grassy Glide play, then all of a sudden, well, nothing really happens, I guess. Ogerpon takes a little bit of damage from Grassy Glide, and the Psychic comes out into Rillaboom. But then the next turn, because I get recovery from Raging Bolt, I might be out of range of a Helping Hand Woodhammer attack into the Bolt. But I already might be out of range here. Like at this point I didn't know the damage calc, but I thought that I might be just out of range. But with another round of grassy terrain, I might definitely be out of range. So I think I couldn't like fully like figure out the situation, but I got into my own head and I was like, oh, he has to go for this crazy Follow Me play with Ogerpon. And so, yeah, maybe I have to just go for an attack and just knock out this Indeedee, and then also attack with Raging Bolt. But yeah, running the damage calculations after the battle, or I think some friends ran the calcs and sent it to me. But I definitely just should have gone for this Protect play with the Raging Bolt. Because as we will see, Helping Hand was just used. Jono's really excited, really hoping that this was KO. And Woodhammer comes out in grassy terrain and gets the KO with a critical hit. Now, it was a roll to KO without the critical hit. So, yeah, I cannot be too upset about it. I should have just gone for the Protect and Glide play that, well, I had seen and I was thinking about it, but this, yeah, like crazy kind of Follow Me line, but it doesn't really lead to anything, I think, because even like grassy terrain was still up for another round, and I think this is the kind of the problem. Yeah, as we GG, good game, definitely Jono deservingly, yeah, playing well there, and me making some mistakes. So Jono, yeah, deserving the win there for sure. As we were discussing a bit then about the game, about what could have been done. But yeah, I think the issue there was that I didn't really think things through fully, because even if he goes for the, let's say I go for Protect and Grassy Glide into Indeedee, and he goes for Follow Me and Psychic, the Psychic damage is not going to do anything to the Rillaboom like it was in KO range for Ivy Cudgel anyway. And then there was still another turn of grassy terrain. Now, I guess with the critical hit, then even if I go, well, or I guess, sorry, if I go for the Protect and Grassy Glide and he goes for the Follow Me play, like it's just the same situation than before, because also then he can go for a Helping Hand attack and get a critical hit and win. So it wasn't like a guaranteed win for me, but with the Protect and Grassy Glide, I just get extra chances, and I would have won against what he was doing, and there was no like downside, because yeah, the worst case scenario is him going for Follow Me and going for a Psychic, which didn't do anything, and me recovering to maybe be out of range for the critical hit in the next turn. So yeah, definitely an error by me to go for the attack there with Raging Bolt in that turn, and then I got punished with the right play and with the critical hit, so I couldn't even be bailed by a favorable damage roll. But yeah, that was it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little like rewatch with me. Of course, it was heartbreaking for me. I mean, I knew what was going to happen, but I did it to myself anyway. Yeah, 3 interesting games, I think, and yeah, some things we can take away from it around the lead matchup. I think was interesting. Like, was he going for a Flutter main lead, or like with the Urshifu trying to anticipate my adaptation? And then also just like against this team in particular, you need to be very, very careful and like not make too many mistakes. I guess you don't really have room for like any mistakes if the opponent plays well, which Jono definitely did. And so yeah, game 1, I needed to go for high horsepower there on the Terrafire Follow Me turn from Ogrepon. And then in this third game, in the end game, Protect and Grassy Glide would have been the winning move. But yeah, didn't spot it in time and deservingly lost in the end. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this type of content. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments if you want to see more games like this being analyzed by me. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you again, and have a good day. Bye-bye.